Have you ever had those dreams that have repeated more than once? If so, what were they? I have a few recurring dreams, but the most common are: first, I try to run across a busy highway but fall halfway. Suddenly, it's like I'm in quicksand and I can barely crawl, and for some reason, I just can't stand up. All while looking at cars coming, speeding toward me, getting closer and closer. I usually jolt awake just as I'm about to obliterate it. Second, as a bartender, I sometimes get what we in the industry call serving nightmares. These usually revolve around being hopelessly understaffed with hundreds of customers to look after. In my ones, I'm usually the only person there trying to take orders, make drinks, and run food for a full restaurant. I usually get so overwhelmed with the amount of things that I have to do that I end up doing nothing because I don't know where to begin and then stress even harder about how far behind I'm falling. It's not really repeating, more likely a continuation. Every time I'm in my lowest, I dream of this guy who helps me and cheers me up. It's different each time. One time, he got me out of the pouring rain and drove me home. Another time, he just walked with me and listened to me rant. Another time, he took me to a water park. He ages as I age as well. I always forget his name everything I wake up from the dream. He hasn't shown up in my dreams ever since I lost someone special. Totally, the only one in particular I can remember is being on an elevator and the floor collapsing as a child I had dreamed multiple times. I think, but I always wonder if I really dreamed the same thing more than once or if the dream itself made me think I had a dream before even though I hadn't. All the time, my life is so uneventful and boring that even my dreams repeat. Probably once in a week I have a dream where I'm sitting at work and the phone rings, but the ringer is so loud it wakes me up. I've had this dream more than 10 times, each lasting depending on how long I survive in that dream. It always starts the same, tied to a chair in the middle of a room made out of stone blocks, medieval like. Once there was someone else in the room and they shoot me in the head and I wake up. But in all other occurrences, he's not present, so I get to wriggle free. I would then look outside a window to realize that I'm in a high rise stone tower surrounded by modern buildings. I would jump down as it's the only exit. Once I woke up after hitting the pavement, but most times the dream continues after landing on hay, like how a leap of fate works on Assassin's Creed games. Then, I usually get hit by a truck afterwards after getting out of the hay bed. Only once have I survived the truck scenario by rolling myself under it as it passes by. Then I get hit by another truck. As a child, I often had the same nightmare, waking up in my bed or in my parents' and the house being on fire. Curtains are burning bright, glowing hot pieces of wood from the roof falling into the living room, smoke everywhere, my parents nowhere to be seen. I would search for them but not find them. Then run into the basement because there we have a fireproof door. My mom often told me to never have open fire in our very old house, which is full of dry wood. Maybe that's the cause. Later, I often dreamed of burglars. I would go normally on in my day, minding my own business, open a door, and boom, there is a stranger in our house. I would run and try to alert my parents, but no sound would come from my mouth. I was mute and helpless until my fear turned to anger and it beat the shit out of one of them in my dream. That dream never returned. I dreamed that old Bionicle set canisters appeared in the local Walmart again after all these years. That once more, I could relive a significant part of my childhood. It haunts me, reminding me of a simpler time from a decade ago. The Bionicle dream is on par with, and possibly worse than the girlfriend dream because the girlfriend dream has more chance of coming to fruition. For the past 6 months or so, I keep having this dream that I'm in the last year of high school. The finals are nearing, but I haven't touched a subject at all and will probably fail it. It most probably chemistry or math. I don't exactly remember. I think it's a dream that many people have. But the interesting is how much time I have left before the final exam. The first time I had a dream, it was the middle of the year. And the next dream, I had 4 months left. The last time I had it, I had only 1 month left before the exam. My stress level in each dream was considerably higher than the previous one. Kind of makes me wonder if life's gonna put me through a test that I'm not at all prepared for. I have at least one dream each month where I am outside somewhere and have just figured out that if I can make a certain swimming motion just right, I can kind of lift up into the air and slowly ride these invisible currents anywhere from 5 to 10 feet above ground. It feels so natural to do it in the dream that when I wake up, I have a split second where I think better go and try it while I can still remember how to do the specific motion that will kickstart my leverage.